So we're supposed to pour concrete at 3 a.m. this morning. It is 12:30 a.m. right now. I've been on the phone with the concrete company for over an hour. Long story short, my order was never put in. They wrote it down on a note, left it on a desk, and they never put it in. I called it in 2 weeks ago. Anyway, long story short, we're not pouring concrete. So now we're gonna have to postpone it until tomorrow. So I've been up calling the concrete company, not the concrete company, but the pump company. I've been calling my finishers. I've been calling everybody. This is a 3,500 square foot pour, so it's a fairly large pour, and it is 3 hours away. I will try to get some sleep, and I will see you later today. All right, so we're gonna try this again. It is 11 p.m. right now. We're supposed to pour at 3 a.m., but now we're gonna pour at 4 a.m. tomorrow. If you guys remember, the concrete company kind of dropped the ball, but hey, we're gonna try to get it done. So anyway, I have a very long drive ahead of me, so I will see you at the job site. Talk to the finishers. They're on the way. Concrete's on the way, and the pump should be here in about 30 minutes or so. So all is looking good. I got my trailer set up. I'm trying to kind of line it up, make sure I get it in a place where it's close enough to the forms, because we're gonna need to unload the trowel machines and the tools and all that. I put a light bar up here. That's a 52-inch, and it's the curved one. I figure it just gives me a wider field of view. I connected it to a Milwaukee 18 volt red battery, the high output. And of course I have multiple of these. I don't know how long it's gonna last. So today is the first test. I wire it to a switch right here, and you're about to experience the first time I turn this thing on. See how good it does. Oh man. Yep, that works. I'm gonna add, I didn't know if one bar was gonna be enough, and again, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I'll probably put another one. See, I have room up here. I can put another bar here and then another one on the other side, maybe an 18-inch or so on each side, but that should be able to cover this and this. But I mean, that just lights it way up. Yeah, that totally works. I'm gonna set the pump up over here. There's a road over there that you can't see, but the pump's gonna be set up over there, and I'll probably set up my truck over here. So this is gonna be pretty well lit up. All right, so it's 2:51 a.m. We're supposed to start pouring at 4 a.m. So I'm about an hour and 15 minutes early. And it's supposed to be 103 degrees today. That's why we're starting super early. That's what we do in the summer. All right, try to get going as early as possible. My plan is to have it all poured out by the time the sun comes out. Then we have day one here in the trailer, which is finishing 8, that, as you guys know, I like a lot. And we're gonna try to get this thing done as soon as possible, because man, 102 degrees, and we have no water whatsoever out here. There is no water. They're supposed to be drilling a well, and of course they don't have that yet. So we have no water. We're gonna rely on day one, obviously, to slow the slab down, the drying process. Hopefully we don't have any shrinkage cracks, because again, there's not gonna be any curing on this one. There's no water on location, so pretty challenging, especially when, you know, we're gonna be pouring in 102 degree weather. All right, so we're gonna get the day one ready to go. All right, so as I was editing this video, I was reminded that I need a generator. So I started doing research on the generator, and all of a sudden I started seeing all these ads all over my social media, my email, just pretty much everywhere that I went online for generators, these targeted ads. So let me take a minute to thank Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this episode. A VPN is a virtual private network that offers another layer of protection between you and the internet. The reason you see all these targeted ads is because all the information is linked directly back to you. With a VPN, all your info is encrypted, so they can't link it right back to you. Also, Surfshark has over 1,700 servers in over 63 countries, so you can pretty much be anywhere in the world while you're still in your living room, or at a public Wi-Fi, which is probably the most dangerous place for you to be sharing information.
Another great feature that Surfshark offers is called HackLock. HackLock gives you real-time alerts if your emails or passwords are at risk of being hacked. So if you want both freedom and protection, click the link in the description below. Use promo code Texas to get 85% off and an additional 3 months free. All right, let's get back to work.
I got a new couple of tools that we're gonna try today. We got this new Superior Pro Float. This is an 8-footer. And then I have a 10-footer in the trailer as well. I'm trying to get away from using a jitterbug. And also trying to use less of the bump cutter. So hopefully these floats will keep us from having to use the bump cutter. All right, so this guy over here is running the pump. These guys are running the screed board. We're gonna spray day 1, and then we're gonna run the bull float. We're not gonna do a jitterbug. Maybe the next thing I need to think about is using a viper screed. I have never used a viper screed, and I don't know if that would help us. Everyone that I have asked around here about a viper screed, they tell me they don't work. But I have talked to Mike Day. You guys know who Mike Day is, right? He does concrete as well on YouTube. I've talked to him, and he loves the viper screed, so maybe I need to get him to teach me how to use a viper screed, because I don't know. I think on the surface, I think it looks really good. I think it's like any other tool. If you know how to use it, I think it's going to be a great tool. But I'm trying to eliminate as many steps as possible, but yet not compromise the end product. The jitterbug, that's always been a controversial topic, because the jitterbug pushes the aggregate down, which evacuates the water. And you're trying to hold the water in there, right? The longer you hold the water in there, the better off you're going to be, especially when it's going to be 102 degrees today. The other thing that we do is add day 1 for the same purpose. We're trying to hold the water in there. So the jitterbug is, I think it's a counterproductive step. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm going with this. I think I can eliminate the jitterbug, and if I have to, maybe use a viper screed, and that'll kind of push that aggregate down. All right, so he's getting some day 1 on that slab. You guys can tell from the mist, it's pretty windy out here. This is the Superior Pro Float. It has a cutting edge on one end, and it's a rounded edge on the other. We're running the 8-footer. And Darren over there, he's spraying the day 1. See right there, that cutting edge. If there's a bump, it'll just shave it off. This should eliminate the bump cutter for us. All right, so we switched it out to the 10-footer. This is the 10-foot Pro Float. Tell you what, man, this thing really works good. You guys can tell we got her poured. 6:30 a.m. The sun's not even out. It's kind of cool this morning. It's probably, if I had to guess, probably in the 80s right now, low 80s. Nice breeze right now, so it feels good right now. But like I said, later today it's gonna get up to 102. The idea is for us to be way out of here by the time that happens. All right, so as you can tell, the sun is out. It is 8:30 a.m. and the concrete's finally getting to the point where we need to start finishing it. You can see this entire side of the slab has shade on it, so that's gonna slow it down even more, which is good. Like I said, you don't want this thing to dry too fast. We're running the Pro Float again over the entire slab. I'm really liking that float. That's a 10-foot float, and again, as you guys know, I like to ensure that the slabs are as flat as possible. So that's what he's doing right now. And of course we have the trowel machine with the floating pan. This is the 36 inch. So we're gonna do the 36 inch first. Then we're gonna put the, probably gonna put the boring on here afterwards with the combination blades. And then we're gonna finish it off with a 48 inch MBW right there. So that's probably the order of operations. Right here, all this concrete right here is where the header had to come out. So they still have to fix all this. But so far, so good. It's still early, and maybe you have another 2-3 hours left. So this is why pouring early is such a good idea. If we were to start pouring at even like right now, 8 a.m., we wouldn't be done pouring until about 11 or so. So that means we would be finishing concrete about 12 or 1 p.m. The worst time of the day, because the water just evaporates so fast that's where you end up with a lot of shrinkage cracks. I know getting up early really sucks, but when you're doing concrete, it's a must. All right, so day 1 is a finishing aid that extends workability time under adverse conditions, designed for hot, dry, and windy conditions, reduces efflorescence on both colored efflorescence, I don't know what that is, both colored and standard concrete. Hardening and densification during troweling helps finish high performance concrete. Day 1 will save a slab. So anyway, this is the stuff that Darren is spraying. Well, was
done.
But bottom line is, day 1 will maintain the moisture in the concrete longer. That's kind of the short explanation. So the reason we want to keep the water in the concrete as long as possible is because if you don't hold it in, it evaporates too fast and it creates shrinkage cracks on the surface. When water evaporates, now you have less volume. Okay, so that's going to create the concrete to shrink, and that's going to cause the cracks. They are not a structural crack, however, they do look bad. Also, the longer the water stays in the concrete, the stronger the concrete is going to be. It needs water. Water is life. A float pan is like a pizza pan. It literally looks like a big pizza pan. And the reason we do that is it makes the concrete a lot flatter. So right now, as you can see, the surface is still wet. But what he's actually doing right now, he's flattening the aggregate, which is the rocks and the sand and all that below the surface. That's why you want a float pan or something with a lot of surface area. So the reason the pan is so much better, you can imagine the blades. If you have a low spot, the blade's just gonna follow the low spot, where the pan is actually gonna bridge across the low spot and it's gonna fill it in with cream. Also, if you hit a high spot, because you have all that surface area, that friction, it's gonna cut down the high spot. So the floating pans make your slabs a lot flatter. That's why I like using them on every slab. I have a floating pan for every one of my trowel machines. We use them on every slab. It makes a big difference. The floating pan leaves it a lot rougher on the surface. It just leaves it very open. The combination blades, they're gonna start sealing it a little at a time. You don't wanna pitch your blades too much, because you'll scrape it. And then what you'll do, if you pitch them too high, then you're gonna make your slab uneven, because you're gonna build up cream. So right now he's just laying down that cream. So he's gonna do a couple of passes with that machine, and then we're gonna transition over to the MBW, and then we're just gonna burnish it off with the MBW. This is a 48 inch. This thing really runs. It has the variable clutch, just like all my other trowel machines have. This is a Boring. They also have a CVT clutch, and my little 36 inch Weidman, I had to make that conversion myself because it had a centrifugal clutch. But once you make the CVT conversion, you're good to go. Of course, the MBW comes with it, so it's ready to go from the factory. It also has the big engine, the 13 horsepower. It's 10:30 a.m. and it's probably about 95 degrees right now, but these clouds are really helping us out. Otherwise, we'd probably be in trouble right now. All right, so there you have the finished product. You can see the sun is at full throttle now, and you can tell already, see how the porches are turning white already? All that moisture is leaving the slab really fast. A lot of times we don't have water. This location has no water whatsoever, so we have no way to water cure. But it'll be fine. Like I said, we used day 1, and that's gonna help it quite a bit. And also we poured at 3 a.m. in the morning. We started at 3 a.m. It is noon right now, so the good thing about starting at 3 a.m. is you get to go home at noon. But anyway, I appreciate you guys joining us today. Give us a like, and we'll see you next time. We are Texas Barndominiums. I'm tired. It's gonna be slow motion today.